Today, we're going to tell you a very unique story about an ordinary teacher who becomes the most lethal sniper in the world simply by applying his physics knowledge. Mykola, a physics teacher, lives in the Donbass region of Ukraine with his pregnant wife, Nastya, in an eccentric countryside life. He goes to school and watches the news about the Crimea region being captured and Russian snipers being deployed on Ukrainian territory. Meanwhile, Nastya works on woodcrafts at home, including a small wooden amulet depicting an angel. While Mykola is lecturing, a class bully, Ivan, spits a piece of paper and disrupts the class, despite Mykola's ability to control the situation. Following the lesson, Ivan informs Mykola that he is an outsider due to his unusual upbringing. Mykola is an academically gifted individual. He holds several degrees, including that of an ecologist. He and his wife choose to stay in an eccentric cabin in the Donbass region to avoid disturbing the environment. They are featured on a TV show, but the host is uneasy with their eccentric lifestyle and becomes hesitant despite Mykola's eagerness to show her his house. The couple resumes their lives after the host and her cameraman leave the house. They take their baths outside in the moonlight. Nastya then gives him her wooden amulet, dubbed Little Angel, in the hope that it will protect her husband. Simultaneously, a convoy of Russian militants crosses the Ukrainian border near their residence. Mykola goes to school as usual the next day, but it is closed because Russian forces have arrived in the area. He runs into two armed Russian men on his way to school. The men arrive at his house and accuse his wife of being a spy because she appears eccentric and wears natural face paints. They torture the couple and set fire to their homes. They shoot Nastya to death as she rises to hit them with a rock. They quickly get into their car and drive away, leaving Mykola to mourn his beloved wife. After his house is completely destroyed by fire, two locals stop by to verify his identity. After confirming that he is a local, they assist him in burying his wife and transporting him to their base. When Mykola arrives at the base, he is kept inside the car while his rescuers are chastised for bringing a possible spy to the base camp. The chief, on the other hand, wants to train Mykola after learning that Mykola is determined to drive Russian militants from his land. He works hard with the camp to learn how to disassemble and reassemble an AK gun. He wishes to be called Raven, after his wife's philosophy that a raven creates life on Earth, but his captain tells him that he must earn that title. When local soldiers announce sniper courses one day, the camp sends some volunteers. Mykola shows off his ability to deal with an AK gun while blindfolded, attracting the attention of two soldiers. They enlist him, along with Bad, Klim, and Dunne, to participate in the course. In contrast to everyone else who receives SVD, he is given an SKS rifle. He attempts to question the decision but is met with silence. He excels in training but is unable to shoot with his rifle. However, his captain claims that it is the sniper, not the gun, that is important. He excels as a former physics teacher because snipers must calculate distance quickly in their heads. At the last exam, he waits patiently until the smoke clears and he can see clearly before firing his shot. He receives 3 points, the most of his friends, and graduates with honors. There is no time to rest as Mykola embarks on his first mission, which is to retake a bridge. Two civilians approach the bridge and are harassed by Russian forces as they aim for their targets. They fire the shot silently, killing several Russians, but one of them holds the civilian hostage. After a heated exchange, the surviving Russian is also shot, and they retake the bridge. Mykola returns to the base end after the mission. He then makes a quick observation, eventually realizing that the base used to be a school. During his downtime at the bottom, he always thinks about his little angel. Meanwhile, Dunne and Klim have been assigned to a mission in the sand dunes. The mission is difficult because they are up against Russian snipers who are also difficult to spot in the dunes. Klim is assassinated. His body is returned to camp, where his friends grieve for him. For the next mission, Ukrainian forces want to retake a trench near the zero line. They plant grenades between the trees and wait for Russian soldiers to cross the tree line before pulling the trigger and decimating the Russians. Ivan is among the Russian soldiers, Mykola realizes. The captain informs him that he and Ivan both made their decisions. They then go to the Russian shelter, where they discover Ivan's family photograph. It motivates them to talk about their families and personal lives. Captain's children are unaware that their father is away on business. Meanwhile, Russian troops have moved deeper into Ukrainian territory. One is a well-known Russian sniper. They form a convoy of camouflaged vehicles. As Mykola and Captain prepare to take their positions near the trench, they notice a camouflaged Russian car and two militants nearby. Mykola recognizes them as the assassins of his wife. He repeatedly requests permission to shoot, but the captain denies him. He defies the order and shoots one of the militants, but the other flees, hides behind the car, and informs the Russian sniper of their location. The captain is shot dead. Mykola carries his dead body, crawling to safety, and drives him back to the base. At the base, while mourning for his captain, Mykola is instructed to deal with the sniper responsible for his death. They will look into this sniper further. He then goes for another mission, single-handedly defeating 2 Russian snipers stationed in an abandoned warehouse, but he also gets shot in the arm by one of the snipers. While he bathes, his chief contacts him to inform him that the Russian sniper has fired on 2 Ukrainian scouts. He has to get ready for a meeting for more details on the location and mission objective. The gathering takes place at his old sniper training camp. They learn from intelligence that a Russian sniper codenamed Suri was responsible for captains and other Ukrainian soldiers' deaths. He posts murder videos of his victims in order to demoralize Ukrainians fighting in this war. He is currently stationed near a chlorine plant with a group of observers. The Ukrainians' missed shot would result in an explosion of pressurized chlorines, causing an environmental disaster. Their ambush must be discreet, well-planned, and meticulously executed. The other snipers are tasked with neutralizing the Russian observers and Suri's subordinates, allowing Mykola to enter the factory and confront Suri directly. They prepare for the mission by preparing their positions. Ukrainian snipers are stationed on high ground near the chlorine plant, observing and acquiring their targets. While the Russian soldiers are being eliminated, Mykola enters the factory and notices Suri's second-in-command stationed at the stairwell. Suri becomes alarmed when he calls for his soldiers and they do not respond because they are already dead, and he summons his second-in-command to meet with him upstairs. Mykola follows him in secret, planting a grenade in the stairwell and hiding somewhere at the chlorine plant. Suri discovers that his rooftop sniper has been shot, leading him to believe that Ukrainian snipers are nearby. He requests assistance. A backup team will arrive in 10 minutes, so he must first hold his ground. He returns to the plant and assembles his rifle before noticing Mykola's amulet nearby. Mykola appears from behind him and stabs him with a knife until he dies from blood loss. When his second-in-command realizes there is a grenade at the stairwell, it is too late. It blows. The mission was a success. However, Russian reinforcements arrive, but Ukrainian snipers gain the upper hand and are able to neutralize the Russians. Mykola assists them by assassinating them from within the chlorine plant. They all return home safely and are ready to take on new missions. Mykola later visits his old, now abandoned house, as well as his wife's grave. He rebuilds her tomb before continuing his life as a pacifist sniper. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.